Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Answers You podcast. Here we discuss every week little topics on how to improve relationships. I'm a big believer that the moment we bring awareness to our own behaviors, patterns, actions, and beliefs, and the way we perceive other people, the way we perceive ourselves, we are able to shift things internally, and with that create lasting change in our reality, and with that in every single relationship that we have in our life. So today I want to talk about what relationships in general reveal about us. We are communal beings. We all thrive in relation. We all need connection. This is an innate need. And I do know there's a lot of people that are going through traumatic experiences and they feel like they do not need other people. They feel they can do everything alone. They feel connection is not needed because they're self-sufficient. And that is all beautiful and valid on its own if it's not connected to a trauma. And you will see that very clearly if someone does not allow you to help them. If someone, rather than opening up to help when they feel sad, when they're in pain, and they rather close themselves off and hide or stay at home or push people away, then you can see it's connected to trauma. And of course there's other examples where it clearly shows it's connected to trauma, when people trying their hardest to show other people that they are self-sufficient, that they do not need someone else. But coming back to that aspect, we all need relationships. Even the people that may say they don't need relationships or they don't need connection in their life, we all have connections in our life. They may all look different. It may not be that you have your family living close by, that you do not have friends, or I don't know, that you live on a farm where there's no one around you, so it's just your family, but there's always interaction with other people. And this is our connections in our life, and this is the relationships we have in our life. Relationships and connection always looks different for each and every one of us. And it's also felt and perceived different for each and every one of us because it's based on our own needs. But so what I want to talk about is, what do relationship reveal about ourselves? Depending on the relationship dynamic, we can learn so much about ourselves when we look at the dynamic with someone else in general. When we just look at it and see, is that connection, is it expanding me? Is it making me feel safe? Like, keeping it very generalized already gives you a beautiful impression on how you are relating with others. And of course, there's always people that maybe have a lot of friends in their lives, and they might have people that they just go out with, and then they have their real friends that they talk to about serious issues or things that are close to their heart. That is all very true. But let's focus here on someone who's important to you. Someone who's close to your heart. What is that connection based on? It is supposed to be based on unconditional love, on allowing you to simply be yourself, feel safe, be able to speak your truth. So that's just a couple of things. And of course, there is connections that we have in our life, maybe with our partner, where things are hard and things do not feel good. But with those connections, if they're close to our heart, if they're important to us, what do they reveal about ourselves? And I want to get into this more because I'm writing a book and it's about healing relationships. And the more I'm writing it, it gets so much more clear to me how much each and every relationship we have in our life, and let's put aside relationships with friends that we just go out with and we don't share anything with. Let's stay with relationships that are close to our heart. This can be a friend, this can be a loved one, this can be your partner, someone closest to you, your child, someone close to your heart. Those relationships always mirror back to us where we still need to heal. Where we still need to work through past hurt, past experiences. Where there is beliefs showing up that are not serving us. Where there's insecurities showing up because those relationships were meant to be sent into our life so we can heal those insecurities, so we can heal this past hurt, so we can look at beliefs that are not serving us. And so I share something from the book. I get into a specific technique on how to start healing relationship dynamics. And in the book, I'm giving an example, and maybe not everyone can relate, but if you ever been in a relationship with a narcissistic partner or someone with narcissistic tendencies, what always stands out in those relationship dynamics most of the time, at least everyone that I met that's been through a relationship dynamic like that, is that the narcissistic partner, they will never think they're wrong. They do not have the capacity to self-reflect in this regard. So if there's conflict, they will start twisting things around to make you the problem, to make you the one responsible for whatever is going on. So they do not take accountability for their actions. They cannot self-reflect. They do not take responsibility. They blame someone else. That's what they do. And that leaves the other partner in a state of complete disempowerment. Because there's always in the conflict the twist and turn until they probably just give in. If they stay in that relationship, be like, well, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am the one to blame. Because narcissists or people with narcissistic tendencies, they do not take responsibility. They do not self-reflect. And they blame other people. So coming back to the statement, relationships always mirror back to us what we still need to look at. What does a dynamic like that reveal to us about ourselves? So if there is someone who does not take responsibility, who cannot be held accountable, it reveals to you that there is something within you that can relate to that. Because otherwise, you would not be in a relationship with someone who's a narcissist or with someone with narcissistic tendencies. Because if you could not relate to that, you would have not connected with someone who carries that within. So what it reveals for you is there is an aspect of you where you are not taking responsibility, where you are not holding yourself accountable. And I know that sounds kind of strange at first, to really make a relationship dynamic, to really use a relationship dynamic and point out this is what the other person is doing, so they mirror back that that's what you are doing too. Because the narcissistic partner, they're not taking responsibility, so you are not taking responsibility. That sounds very simplistic, but this is why it's powerful, and it makes it easier for you to connect the dots to see a deeper truth within yourself. Because otherwise it's really hard. And I talk about uncovering what relationships are about or supposed to be revealing to us on a deeper level. If they are not healthy relationships, it just helps you to see things more simplistic. So let's stay with the example. If you have a narcissistic partner or someone in your life who does not take responsibility, it mirrors back to you. There's an aspect of you that does not take responsibility. And when it comes to narcissistic partners, at least this is how it feels to me, and this is how I felt when I was in it, and after I started healing from it. When you have a narcissistic partner who does not take responsibility, where you are not taking responsibility, is you're not taking responsibility for yourself. And that is a very painful truth. And I want to explain that, because when we are with a narcissistic partner, someone who does not take responsibility, who is always there to blame us, we are not taking responsibility to what we perceive as true, to what we perceive is actually happening. We allow someone else to shift our perception of reality. So we are not taking responsibility for ourselves if we are staying in a relationship like that. Because the more we bring awareness to toxic relationship dynamics like this one, we will see that this has to do with a lack of accountability for ourselves and responsibility for ourselves. Because when we start healing and asking ourselves, why do I allow someone else to blame me for something that I feel like I should have never been blamed for, because I feel they were at fault here? Probably because there was an experience in your life that made you feel like you were wrong, or that you were not enough. But whatever it is, just to make it more clear from the example, relationship dynamics always mirror back to us what we carry within, what we still need to look at, so we can bring it up and see the truth, even if it's painful, and so we can shift it. So in this example, when we start bringing awareness to the fact that we are with someone who's not taking responsibility and is not holding themselves accountable for their actions, we start bringing awareness to it and see that it reveals about us where we do not take responsibility for ourselves. We can start shifting that. We can start standing in our truth and standing in our power and say, but this is how I perceived this situation was. This is how I perceived you and I in that situation. And I do not allow you to blame me for something where I feel I'm not at fault. And this is how you start shifting. And of course, oftentimes, if it's a narcissist, a true narcissist, they probably still stick to you being the one to blame, which is fine, because we cannot change other people. But the more we step into our own power and bring awareness to why we engage in those dynamics and reveal the deeper truth that caused us to connect with someone else this way, we can shift and we can heal. And the more you move forward in your healing journey, you will ask yourself, after you come to a deeper truth about whatever it is, may it be here, I need to start taking more responsibility for myself. I need to start saying, this is not happening anymore. You are not blaming me for something that I didn't do, or where I feel I'm not at fault and I didn't do anything wrong. And then dynamics will either shift, or you will feel empowered to say, well, if you cannot change your behavior, because I did change mine and I reflected on myself and see myself more clearly, then you will feel empowered walking away from those type of relationships, because you will see more clearly your part in it, and if it's still in alignment with the relationships you want to cultivate in your life. So relationships are always our opportunity to get to know ourselves better on a deeper level. And they will always mirror back to you, and you can keep it simple, like in my example. Keep it simple so you see it more clearly, so to make it easier, even if you do not get to the truth of it right away. Maybe there's another example where it's not that easy for you to figure it out, but keeping it simple, like in this example, if someone is not taking responsibility, where do I not take responsibility? It makes it easier to connect the dots. So let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know if you have any ideas or any suggestions for future episodes. I would love to hear from you. I hope you guys have a beautiful week, and I hope you like this episode.